Good morning. It's now 10 o'clock, so I guess we are now ready. Please turn off your microphone and let only Ma'am Vanessa Talisi to be our MC for the day.
Good morning, Dr.
Academic requirements. Students whose subjects are scheduled in the summer under the PSG of their degree program and students taking graduate studies. Only HEIs with capability for full online learning will be allowed to conduct summer classes.
OJT and internship programs foreign and local remain suspended until ECQ, MECQ, GCQ, and NGCQ has been lifted. However, for HEI and NGCQ areas, in-campus OJT and internship programs can be authorized provided there is strict compliance with physical distancing and other health protocols.
The opening of classes for 2020 to 2021 shall be based on the HEI's delivery mode subject to compliance with minimum health standards and the situation on the ground. HEIs using full online education can open anytime after May 31st, 2020. HEIs using flexible learning can open anytime in August 2020. HEIs using significant face-to-face or in-person mode can open no earlier than the 1st of September 2020. All HEIs who are using the old academic calendar, June to May, are encouraged to change their academic year and open in August 2020 or later in the year.
HEI should prepare for the opening of 2020 to 2021 by undertaking the following: preparation of the HEI facilities to comply with minimum health standards such as mandatory wearing of masks, hand washing and sanitation practices, safe physical distancing, reconfiguration of classroom spaces, provision of markers in public places, prohibition of mass gathering, among others.
Consultation with local health officials and local government units to determine the health situation in the locality, availability of public transportation, and other support services necessary for the operation of HEI, preparation of a contingency or continuity plan as to the precautionary and other health protocols in case there are suspected or confirmed cases, adoption of a flexible learning strategy or mode in delivering instruction by ensuring appropriate facility delivery system, faculty complement, and student support.
In coordination with local health officials and the local government unit, implementation of any of the following flexible enrollment procedures: online enrollment and payment through remittance services, scheduling of students who will be allowed to enroll on any given day, opening of satellite enrollment sites as practicable, other similar arrangements to limit the number of students allowed at any given time and ensure safe physical distance.
Mass gatherings are prohibited. HEIs are prevented from conducting in-person graduation ceremonies and other school activities until the prohibition for mass gathering is lifted. Private HEIs are advised to follow the guidelines of government agencies such as the Department of Labor and Employment as regards to the deployment of its faculty and its staff.
Good morning to all passionate educators attending this webinar, to our CHED Regional Director, Region 9, Dr. Roddy Garcia, and to our education supervisors, Dr. Joan Caresma and Ms. Clarissa Alvarez. Good morning. So before we begin, let us all acknowledge the presence of our dear Creator.
Dakilang may likha sa kalingat pang unawa, mangyari ang iyong diwa sa langit at sa lupa. Allahumma innaka tara anna hadihi al-qulub قد اجتمعت على محبتك واتقت على هذه المكان إيمانك وتوحدت على دعوتك ووسك ربيطاتها يا الله وأدم أدها واملأها بنورك الذي لا يخبو واسرح صدورنا بفائد الإيمان بك وجميل توكل عليك واهدنا سبل الوحدة والسلام والصلاح ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار يا الله أنت مستجاب لهذا الدعاء وعليك توكلنا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين آمين الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, our loving Father, Creator of heaven and earth, we thank you for your generosity and kindness, and ask that you hear us in times of needs. Make us worthy of your blessing, and keep us from further want. Help us restore our abundance here on earth, so that we may turn more attention to your divine kingdom. Help us become a blessing to our family and others, to glorify and honor your name. We ask this to our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Iadya niyo kami sa pagmamataas upang maiwaksi ang lupit at dahas. At samahang lumikha ng pamayanang payapa sa kalikasan kabuhayan, kakanyahat paniniwala.
Once again, maayong buntag sa tanan. Good morning. I am Vanessa Telisik from Blancha College Foundation Incorporated, Mulavi, Zamboanga del Sur, 362436. And I am your confidently beautiful with a heart moderator for today. Welcome to our online meeting on responding to new normal, and our sincere gratitude to the Commission on Higher Education Regional Office 9, in partnership with the Council of Deans for Teacher Education Region 9, for tirelessly initiating webinars that would inspire educators to learn and unlearn unconventional educational approaches. Their continued efforts encourage educators to collaborate and therefore be more productive. So we have a few points to bear in mind during this webinars for our house rules. So for the do's and don'ts of video conferencing, so whether you are video conferencing for an important sales meeting, a video interview, or even just internally, there are some video conferencing do's and don'ts that everyone should be aware of, not just to look good in camera, though that always helps, but also to make sure the meeting is productive and you don't waste the time of whoever you might be meeting with. We're not going to say these are all written in stone, but as the Laila de Lima once said, Dalai Lama once said, learn the rules well so we can break them effectively. So take a look before, below, and let us know what you think are the most important do's and don'ts of video conferencing. So for the do's, dress well and treat your appearance the same way you would as if you were meeting in person. And for the don'ts, get all dressed up and looking good just to have a poor lighting or an untidy background. Take a moment to test your camera before the meeting to see if your lighting is good and clear your background for clutter and any distractions. Another, you have to turn your microphone mute whenever you are not speaking. This is especially important in group conferences when multiple users' background noises can become extremely distracting. For don'ts, forget to unmute your mic when speaking. Nothing disrupts the flow of a meeting more than one person trying to deliver a speech that no one else can hear. Then, make sure your camera quality is acceptable and that is always pointing in the right direction. Test your camera before the meeting to make sure your head is not cut off or etc. Don't invest in a fancy camera and forget about audio. Audio is arguably the most important element of a conference. Even without video call can go on so as long as you have clear audio. Most conferencing platforms will give you the chance to test your audio before the call. So if your computer mic is not good enough, try using headphones or upgrading to an affordable speaker speakerphone like. So for pro tips, always test beforehand. Test video, audio, and internet connection at least 10 minutes before your call. Gear up. Get the right gear for your conference room or personal office to ensure quality and treat it like it's in person. Dress like you were meeting in person to avoid looking unprofessional and clean up. With your background of instructions or hide them before a green screen. So other things to consider during Zoom video conference. For a smooth Zoom VidCon, please remember the following. During the presentation of the speakers, questions will not be entertained. Questions will be raised through the open forum. If you have questions during or after the presentation, you may send them through the chat box, which will be read by the moderator. And please provide your name before your question. Should there be questions to be raised verbally, this will be answered after all questions in the chat box has been entertained. You may use the chat box and inform the host that you wish to speak. Once recognized, you may press unmute and speak. As our Zoom video conference is live through Facebook and YouTube, we will also be entertaining questions through these platforms. So, to begin this webinar, we are pleased to have the phenomenally successful educator and leader, Dr. Jacinta Tan, to welcome us all. Dr. Tan, once again, please help me welcome Dr. Jacinta Tan for her welcome remarks.
Dr. Tan will be joining us through a video, so we are setting it up, ma'am.
Okay po. Before we begin with Dr. Tan's welcome remarks, can you have a reaction coming from the participants? Can you hit your reactions button?
Maybe we can have Ma'am Dr. Mario first and we
All
can
right.
chat us.
Yes po. Okay po. So we will have Dr. Mario Alayon, our CODTE president, for this webinar's rationale. Dr. Alayon,
Yes, Ma'am Van. Good morning.
good
Good
morning, Doc.
morning to Ma'am Joanne Corisma, to Ma'am Kay, and all the CODTE officers and the officials of Commission on Higher Education. and of course the deans from
Look,
different.
Mario, a little
Oh.
louder po.
I will remove my face mask, ma'am, for a while because I am not feeling well because of cough and colds. Um, I think this is the last of our webinar series, no, ma'am, no? And
Di pa po.
hopefully, uh, Ched will look into some of the outputs that we have to show to Ched and the entire region of what have uh, be the outcome for those series of webinars that we have. So I'm sure that all of you are busy for the preparation of the calibration of the syllabus or syllabi, busy with regards to the preparation of learning modules. And we pray and we hope that our supervisors and our director will be lenient with us because for this first semester, although we have submitted our learning continuity plan um, before July 31, I'm sure there are a lot of things that we have to prepare because from our students who have already expressed their willingness to what kind of delivery that they are expecting from us. So we have to accommodate them so that learning should continue. And we know very well that there is a pronouncement from the president that there will be no face-to-face until vaccine is available. So with this meeting now, we hope to what is this to learn and to gain insights from our CHED officials. So we hope and we pray that we are all well in good health, mentally healthy and spiritually healthy and physically healthy to face the regular semester of this pandemic year 2020-2021. And that's my message, ma'am, for this last day of our webinar series. Thank you, Ma'am Van. Um,
Thank you so much, Dr. Mario, Dr. Alayan. Thank you so much. Dr. Charisma, the video po of Dr. Tan.
Good morning, my dear colleagues in the academy, specifically
Good morning, ma'am.
to Dr. Mario Alayon, the President of the Council of Deans for Teacher Educations, other officers and members of the Council of Deans of Teacher Education, to the faculty, directors, and other visitors in this meeting. Also, special mentions to my colleagues, the ever active Education Supervisor for Teacher Education, Dr. Joanne Coresma. I am indeed very happy this morning to be with you during this online meeting relative to responding to new normal. Opening of classes is really fast approaching, and there's no way of turning back, searching of what was normal before. But instead, let us look forward and search to prepare what is now at the new normal situation. I am sure there are lots of preparations to include the learning continuity plan, flexible learning modalities, the blended learning, the open educational resources, modules preparations, considering there will be no face-to-face classroom setting, and all these things must be in place before the opening of classes. And that even includes our healthy and safety protocol that we have to prepare our facial masks, face shields, eye protectors, alcohol, and other source of disinfectants in our schools or in for all of us. Be it as it may, we as educators must continuously create new knowledge for ourselves and for our students and other stakeholders. We must not drive our vehicles with empty handed, but full of necessary paraphernalia that will contribute to the enhancement and boost up our educational system in our own little way, be it in a particular to general or general to particular, be it in a micro level or be it in a macro level. So there's no way to delay our educational process intendedly for our students and other stakeholders. In a month's time, we are going to call all HCIs for the orientations of the so-called guidelines on the implementations of the flexible learning. We have done our part the other day, both at the central office and the CHED regional office on these guidelines, orientations for flexible learning. So we are expecting actually a consortium or a memorandum of agreement that will enter into between big and small schools for these flexible learning modalities. So, in other words, there will be a strong collaboration of all HEIs from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And that will be part of the content of these guidelines on the flexible learnings. So, expecting, my dear friends, at the end of this meeting or at the end of this session, everybody must be ready in looking forward for their classroom setting. So, probably a dry run and orientations must be conducted. So, all of us must be honest enough also to learn what is new in this new normal. So, there will be a complete cycle, actually, a turn of the paradigm shift to unlock all the necessary difficulties that we are going to face. So we have to be honest, and during this meeting, you can contribute something or you can ask, inquire for you to erase all the doubts in the preparations for the opening of classes. So once again, buenos dias, good morning, and welcome to this meeting. Advance congratulations to the Council of Deans for Teacher Educations. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tan.
Thank you, Ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Tan.
Thank you so much for the awe-inspiring remarks, Dr. Tan, and for being with us virtually. So it will be an honor to have been given an opportunity to discover novel wisdom from an expert and experienced speaker. To formally introduce our speaker for today, please help me welcome by hitting the wave button. Your reactions. Can I have the clap button? All right. Okay. All right. So, to introduce our guest speaker for today, the nature lover and brilliant system dean of teacher education program of Jose Rizal Memorial State University main campus, Dr. Narcisa Borreros.
Good morning, everyone. Our speaker today is a graduate of Doctor of Education, major in Educational and Administration on March 2007 at Western Mindanao State University. He was designated as Dean of the College of Education and Liberal Arts of Zamboanga State College of Marine Science and Technology from 2007 to February 2014. Being expert in his field, he became an international education consultant, curriculum specialist of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports Enhancing Education Quality Project, ADB grant number 0090 Camp and Coffee International Specialist on May 18, 2010 to August 31, 2011, and became an international lecturer on curriculum development and enhancement in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. With his desire to serve his hometown, he applied at the Department of Education, Dipolog City Division, and held the position of Education Program Supervisor on October 2015 to 2018. Dipolog City is not his hometown, so he applied and finally become a member of the Jose Rizal Memorial State University Katipunan campus with an academic rank of Associate Professor 4 from September 4, 2018 to present, and designated as Unit Head of Instructional Material Development and International Linkages. He is a member of professional association not only in national but also in international organization, and a speaker in regional, national, and international fora. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored and privileged to introduce our speaker, Dr. Rogelio Antinero Moro.
Thank you very much, Dr. Narcisa Boreros, my beautiful system Dean of the College of Education. Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Having our meeting also with the IMD, but I had to leave because of this very important commitment of the Commission on Higher Education Region 9. No? I cannot refuse also the Council of Deans because I was once the president at the same then the vice president of this organization, which Dr. Tan was our advisor at the time, and now Dr. Joanne Marisma. Good morning, everyone, especially to Dr. Rodi Garcia, the officer in charge of the Commission on Higher Education for Region 9. Of course, Dr. Mario F. Alayon, the president of the Council of Deans for Region 9, other deans of the teacher education in Region 9. I can see Dr. Penelope G. Kulisao. Hi, ma'am. How are you? Of course, our very energetic MC, Ma'am Vanessa Talisik. Other deans, good morning. Well, we are bombarded by so many problems, stressors around us, isn't it? The back riding. Okay, that is one of the issues now. Of course, it's because of the pandemic. But then again, we cannot stop our the learning of our students. No, we cannot stop. So whether we like it or not, we have to find ways so that we can deliver, let's say, our lessons to our students. So the weather here is not good, so the internet is not stable. So while I am having my screen sharing, I have to off my video if you do allow me. Dr. Quarisma, can you see my slide?
Yes,
Thumbs up.
sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have here education in a new normal. Okay, it is said that according to Charles ancient time that we sense that normal isn't coming back. So we are being born into a new normal. Well, a new kind of society. It can be a new relationship, a new experience being human. As we approach the start of the academic year this coming August, or this month, most higher education institutions, especially in Region 9, include teachers, students, and parents, are still confused about what education will look like in the new normal. Well, many are skeptical about whether our schools are ready for new learning delivery modalities. Despite the many examples offered by the Department of Education, we have the TESDA, of course, our own Commission on Higher Education. In this time of new normal, intellectual disposition of everyone is very crucial, required. We need people in our organization who enjoy learning new things, because we have to learn new things by this time, because considering it's new normal, we need people who are interested in different ideas and tend to imagine how things could be different. People who are analytical, imaginative, curious. We need people who can suggest creative or original ideas. People who can identify or develop and even recognize solutions to work-related problems, because we are actually bombarded with different problems as of this time. But anyway, in every problem, there's always a solution. We need people who can assess the value, the importance of people around him or around them. People who can decide, or decision makers. Well, the decision based on logic or based on facts, and a people who can change approach or method to best fit to the situation that we are in now. Now, because of this new normal, I have here a new mindset. There are two main mindsets we can navigate life with: the growth and fix. Well, it is said that having a growth mindset is essential for success. So later, maybe you'll be asking yourselves as to where do you belong, growth or fixed mindset. I'm sure everybody is under or belong to what we call a growth, because no one would like to be fixed. But anyway, we'll try to explore this. So you have there, the two mindsets. If you look at that one, you have the fixed mindset, intelligence, and the other one is growth mindset. The other one, the growth intelligence, can be developed. The other one, intelligence, is static. We know already what is static. So when we say fixed mindset, okay, this leads to a desire to look smart, and therefore a tendency Two, one, for challenges, because we are always encountering challenges. The tendency is a person avoids challenges. But on the other side, if you are under growth mindset, you tend to embrace challenges. So we may ask ourselves now, are we that type of persons that we use that we embrace challenges, or we tend to avoid challenges? Okay, we may say that, sir, I have to avoid challenges because challenges are stressors sometimes. But in these mindsets, you don't have, okay, or you belong to the other mindset, which is fixed. For fixed mindset, there's a tendency to give up easily in terms of obstacles, give up easily, while on the other side, persist in the face of setbacks. Fixed mindset, there's a tendency to see effort as fruitless or worse. On the other side, see effort as the path to mastery. In terms of criticism, tend to ignore useful negative feedbacks. That's for fixed mindset. While growth, learn from criticism. So don't be afraid if you will be criticized. Just consider the criticism as a part or bahagi ng learning process natin. In terms of success of others, feel threatened by the success of others. While on the other side, find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. That's why you may say, "Ay, congratulations." Hmm. Pero sometimes, magsabi tayo ng congratulations, may pakapin sa hiwi sa baba, no? Yung bibig natin. Or at the back of our mind, charing-charing lang. Okay. No? Then, as a result, they may plateau early and achieve less than their full potential. On the other side, they reach ever higher levels of achievement. And all this gives them a greater sense of free will. Now, your view of yourself can determine everything. Remember that one. If you believe that your qualities are unchangeable, then fixed mindset. You'll want to prove yourself correct over and over rather than learning from your mistakes. Growth mindset is actually based on the belief that your basic qualities are things you can cultivate through your efforts. Changing your belief can have a powerful impact. The growth mindset creates powerful passion for learning. Then why waste time proving over and over how great you are when you could be getting better? Ano pa talaga yung patunayan natin? Then why hide deficiencies instead of overcoming them? No? Ba't kailangan natin itatago yun? Why not work for overcoming them? Why look for friends or partners who will just shore up your self-esteem instead of ones who will also challenge you to grow? The passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it, even or especially when it's not going well, is the hallmark of the growth mindset. This is the mindset that allows people to thrive during some of the most challenging times in their lives. Our ideas about risk and effort come from our mindset. Some people realize the value of challenging themselves. They want to put in the effort to learn and grow. Others, however, would rather avoid the effort, feeling like it doesn't matter. People with a fixed mindset believe that success is about being your best self, not about being better than others. Failure is an opportunity, not a condemnation. Effort is the key to success. But they can put this into practice because their basic mindset, their belief in fixed rates. So that's for mindset, the two mindsets. No? Then we have to ask again ourselves, okay, where do we belong, or where do I belong? Of course, everybody will say, sir, growth mindset. But you have to evaluate yourselves. Why I am discussing this with you is because that we need this one so that we can go to the point of realization, because we are dealing with people, we are dealing with stressors, especially in our workplace, especially in this time of pandemic. As I said just a while ago, that we are bombarded with different stressors. But then again, if you are if you belong to growth mindset, I'm sure you can adjust. Okay. So because of this pandemic, we are now working from home. Another stressful event in our life. Why? Because sometimes we cannot separate working from home and stay at home. Ayan, yun ang pinaka-problema. Especially working mothers, especially yung may maraming anak, no? Yung may maraming ah, trabaho sa bahay, that you cannot separate your work from home and your stay at home. And as a result, na-stress ho tayo. Isn't it? Okay. Na-stress ho tayo. So, you have there, no? So that you will not be stressed. Okay. One is keep dedicated working times. Okay. You have also there. Another one is have routines in place. Of course, block out social media and other distractions. What we are experiencing now is that there are teachers, or there are maybe individuals who are attending three, 2 to 3 to 4 webinars. Naka-cellphone, naka-laptop, naka-desktop, and etc. At the same time. Okay, at the same time. Nako, ilan kayang ano tayo nga meron siya, dalawa lang. Okay. So, but we cannot go away from it. That's the reality. Take regular or short breaks. Of course, yes. No? Especially those who are writing now modules. Have time to rest. Huwag naman. Yung iba nag-overnight na sa eskwelahan sa kagagawa ng module na yan, because um, August na tayo ngayon, and hopefully we will start our classes, and then some students enrolled, pinili pa yung printed modules. Iilan lang kayang porsyento ang online. So, karamihan ay module. So, we are now in a hurry of writing our modules. Maybe some are just having another modality, looking for yung hindi masyadong mabigat para sa mga teachers. Keep a to-do list and schedule. Okay. Then have a dedicated work space at home. Meron ho tayong parang mga maliit na opisina sa bahay. Ayan, medyo mabawas-bawasan yung pagiging stress natin, having a working from home or work from home. And of course, that one stay from home. Now, actually, the UNESCO, to avoid interruption of classes, UNESCO identifies some of these what we call now things to be considered. So, like for example, that number one, examine the readiness and choose the most relevant tools. Because remember that school closures during the pandemic, contain the spread because of the spread of COVID-19, disrupting the education of million students, not only in our country, of course. This is all over the world. These are some recommendations to ensure that learning remains uninterrupted during this period. Because we cannot say that, sir, it will end this August, or it will end this September, or it will end this December and whatsoever. Remember, pataas ng pataas pa tayo, Pataas ng pataas ang bilang ng COVID-19 positive. Okay. And that trend now is ang counting, kasali na yung pag nabali yung paa mo, namatay ka, kagiluba ka, pwede na rin, isalin na rin sa COVID-19. So you have there, examine the readiness and choose the most relevant tools. Decide on the use of high technology or low technology solutions based on the reliability of local power supplies. Ayan, another stressor. I don't know, especially in Zamboanga City. Congratulations, Zamboanga City. Okay? Not only in Zamboanga City, but actually even other provinces, other regions are also experiencing this one. Of course, the internet connectivity. We are all experiencing. We are all stressed. It's because of this internet. We spend a lot of money investing internet connectivity, isn't it? And of course, yung mga may-ari na mga private schools or mga instructional leaders, school or university, state universities and colleges, presidents are now preparing, or actually yung pina-prioritize nila is the internet connectivity of the schools. Of course, the digital skills of teachers and students. Okay. What is happening now? Okay. We look back to our curriculum. What is happening now is, saka pa lang tayo nag-conduct ng webinar on the use of Google Classroom, on the use of Zoom, and other modalities. Especially the use of digital literacy, on the digital literacy. Why? So, yun ang sinasabi ko lagi na, well, as the need arises. As the need arises. Okay? Well, you might say, sir, actually, sir, it's part of the curriculum because we have that educational technology. But was there a hands-on, or it was just explained, or it was just more of theories, but we are not exposing our students in terms of using all these digital or all these platforms that we are about to apply. So that is why we are in a hurry of training our teachers and of course our students. Not only the students, of course the parents. The parents. Parents play a very important role in this time of pandemic, especially in yung sa pag-aral ng kanilang anak. I don't know kung hmm, how knowledgeable ang mga parents in terms of this no, digital learning platforms. The other one is we have to ensure inclusion of the distance learning programs. We are actually having that distance learning program. We have the OH, the Open High School. We have the alternative learning system of the Department of Education for the Commission on Higher Education. Actually, a good example is the University of the Philippines. Actually, University of the Philippines is having that open university. So this is not new to us here in the Philippines, but sad because not all colleges, universities are having this type of modality. No, so that is why we are in hurry of learning all these things. Then we have, of course, protect data privacy and data security. We are overwhelmed of using the digital platforms and other social media, no? Hindi mo na lang natin na akalain na kumakalat na pala yung mga pictures natin saan-saan na makarating sa buong daigdig. Okay? So that is why. And so we need this one, no? We have to protect it. We have to protect data. I know the chat is very, active on this one. No? Meron na silang mga plano tungkol dito. O talagang meron na, alam ko yan because last time I attended a webinar about this. Then you have to prioritize solutions to address psychosocial challenges, before teaching. Mobilize available tools to connect schools, parents, teachers, and students with each other. We have to create a community to ensure regular human interactions, enable social caring measures, and address possible psychosocial challenges that students may face when they are isolated. Kay basin po pag-abot sa panahon no nga tuliro na tang tanan, no? Talking to laptop, to gadgets, and etc. Wala na tayo social interaction. Nawala na yung ano natin, yung interpersonal skills, interpersonal communication. Then of course you have to plan your study schedule of the distance learning programs. Organize discussions with stakeholders to examine the possible duration of school closures. You know what, we have to, whether you like it or not, no, we have to consider the stakeholders, the community, okay, especially those universities and colleges that are planning to have a pigeon where to submit the requirements of the students. So you have to coordinate with the barangay officials, coordinate the kabataang barangay ba na siya karon, you know. So as to the possibility of coming up a pigeon where students in that particular place will be depositing their requirements, no? Especially yung mga module natin kasi we we have learning activities at nakalagay doon that they have to submit on time. They have no, they have to submit where. So nakalagay sa pigeon, assigned in the barangay or sa eskwelahan and etc. Okay. Just to avoid that social distancing. And only to find out pala sa pagdating sa barangay, andoon nagchismisan lahat. Nagtapok na noon. Talya, todo sila alya. Kwentuhan na. Okay. But anyway, well, that's why we have to coordinate the barangay officials so that the barangay officials may take their part also. Then we have to provide support to teachers and parents on the use of digital tools. No, I mentioned that one just a while ago. If we can have, if we can organize a briefing or let's say a training or maybe orientations for teachers, parents, of course, the students, ang problema yung nasa bukid na naman. Okay? Now, this is to help them to prepare the basic settings such as solutions to the use of internet data if they are required to provide live streaming of lessons, because you can have also live streaming, especially if you are using Google Classroom. Then other one is blend appropriate approaches and limit the number of applications and platforms. Okay, so we have also to specify if we will use Zoom, then you can use Zoom, you can use but iba naman yung halos lahat andoon na, no? Applying all these platforms. Then develop distance learning rules and of course monitor students' learning process. Define the rules. The rules. That's why it has to be specified in your module. The rules with parents, students, and distance learning. Then you can design formative questions, your tests, exercises, especially for now in terms of assessment, we are considering now the formative assessments. Okay, but you can have also your summative, as part of the your grading system. You can have your module. In your module, you have your formative assessments, especially the learning activities, your pre-test assessment at the last or post-test. Now, then there's a debate on whether to include the formative assessment in uh, in our grading system. But also by principle, we do not include that one. But if we have been telling our students that all class formative assessments are not actually part of the grading system. But if you look at our grading system, it is a part of, or formative assessments are really part of. No? Meron pa dyan, nakalagay pa attendance. Ay nako, ano ba yan? Sige na. Define the duration of distance learning units based on students' self-regulation skills. Keep a coherent timing according to the level of the student's self-regulation and metacognitive ability, especially for live streaming classes. So we have to consider that one, especially the number of minutes that you are going to face your students. Then of course you have to create communities and enhance connection. It can be a community of teachers, it can be a community of parents, school managers, like what we are doing now, that somehow address sense of loneliness or helplessness, that somehow facilitates sharing of experiences and discussion on coping strategies when facing learning difficulties and other difficulties that we are having now. So everybody has been urging for changes to be made to education. Reimagining and revitalizing education are among the catchphrases when it comes to moving 21st century education. But in reality, it is not easy to imagine. Sila pa nga, let alone changes. unless circumstances force us to. So the new normal education requires us to unlearn what we have always known. Ayan, yun ang problema, no? Because there are people who don't want to unlearn. Because we are used to, especially teachers, they are used to yung may mga desk, yung may mga bags, yung mass lectures, public exams, my parent-teacher communication. So we have to unlearn those. We are in the new normal. Then we can establish the new normal. While everyone seems to directly correlate online learning with the new normal, it is not the whole story. Online learning is essential as an enabler of learning so that the whole business of education will not stall. But there are more facets to pay attention to in defining the new normal. So look at that one, no? Our future education is being shaped by these forces, no? Of course, the 4.0, no, the fourth industrial revolution, then the emerging technologies that we have, our our learners, no, we have Generation Z, no. How I wish I still belong to Generation Z. Hindi na pwedeng. Of course, the open education resources, the most controversial, the use of AI, no, the artificial intelligence, the information explosion. Huwag na lang isali yung mga fake news dyan. But it's still part of the media literacy that we are supposed to teach to our students, that we are supposed to discuss that one, no? Part of the curriculum. Part mo talaga ng curriculum. Of course, the big data, no? The Internet of Things, the learning analytics, the education for all, then the 21st century workplace. Then everybody is aiming for globalization. Everybody is aiming for globalization. But how I wish that we have a very huge concepts in terms of globalization. Okay, maybe in other component in other area. So these are actually the future skills, no, that we are supposed to include this one in our modules. No, we'll try to inculcate this one to our students. No, like learning literacy, your self-efficacy. Let this be developed among students so that they can have the ability to succeed in a specific situations or can accomplish the task, especially the self-efficacy. Self-determination, okay? Self-determination, self-competence, reflective competence, decision competence. Kaya mayroon ng mga tao na masyadong in terms of decision making ba, no? Yung mga undecisive, tawag na dyan, yung mga tao cannot decide. Cannot decide. Especially when he or she is in the middle of, let's say, problems or in a scenario where you are confronted with problems, then you tend to, no, na hindi kayo makapag-decide. Initiative and performance competence. Of course, ambiguity. The word is ambiguous, actually. No? Remember, there was a term, there was a new acronym now. It's not actually new. Yung VOCA, VOCA daw. Na volatile. The word now is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. That's why we have their ambiguity competence training for students. ethical competence, design thinking, innovation system, digital. No, this is very important, especially this time. The science making. Ano naman sir? Daghan ng mga kuan, daghan ng mga taong wala din mga masyadong nonsense na. Future joke lang. Future and design competence. Then of course you have cooperation and another is communication competence. Don't worry because I have around 200 slides. So we will not stop hanggang 5 o'clock. Joke lang, no? Okay. Don't worry. No? Then you may say na si Sir Bao, si Sir, palaging binabanggit yung stressor. Siya ngayon ang number one stressor sa atin ngayon because we are doing our module and yet andyan siya nag blah blah blah. No, kasi anyway, now because of the pandemic again, we have the challenges and opportunities for higher education. Okay, so we have here. Now actually, we have to integrate environment, no? Because we have here. I mean, everybody is aware that higher education institution is affected because of this COVID-19. Thousands of school closures followed in a very limited span of time to enforce social distancing measures. Our educational institutions are presented with surmounting challenges in a system of planning, implementation, and assessment. On a light note, the global pandemic opened up opportunities to the country to upgrade its educational mode of delivery and transfer its attention to emerging technologies. Yun kung maganda ang technology natin. Higher education institutions thereby need to seize the opportunity to strengthen its evidence-based practices, provide the curriculum responsive to the needs of the changing times. So ano ba dapat isali natin sa curriculum? That's why we have to integrate environment and health courses in the curriculum. Okay? So higher education institutions should integrate this one. It is particularly of utmost importance to make the curriculum as responsive to the needs of the world at the present times. The integration of the basic environmental and health courses should be accessible to all students. No? Then learning materials related to this one should be also accessible. Para naman no, alam ng mga bata, ultimo ngayon magbigay tayo ng yung sa gate, meron nakalagay na nga hand washing, mo evade pag yun sila. No? So, health courses. Then, sa ngayon, parang nasubraan na rin, no? Kasi sa dinami-dami ng store or malls na papasukan ninyo, inatutunaw na yung kamay natin sa mga alcohol at saka yung ang tawag niyan, yung ilagay saan natin, sa forehead natin para ma-determine yung ano daw, tawag diyan, no? So,
Scanner.
yung scanner, nako, from one person to the other person, nilokso na gina ma'am sa ato ang ulo ng kanang virus kadagan nahilis na pud ang ato ang kamot sa daghang alcohol, no? Paglabas ng isang tindahan, pasok sa ibang tindahan, alcohol everywhere. Then of course we have to strengthen environmental policies and hygiene practices, okay, or practices. So students can be given health management tools that can let them practice protocols until good hygiene becomes a school culture. No? Ang hirap kasi, no? Ang hirap kasi, para magiging school culture ng mga bata, not only mga bata, tayong matatanda, no? Especially yung sinasabi nilang mga hygiene. Okay. Then, incorporate an online mental health and medical services. How I wish that our state universities, colleges have already this one, no? mga online, we have online consultation. As I told you just a while ago na basig na nga tuliro na nga buang na yung mga tao no sa kaharap ng uh, mga social media or mga platform sa internet. Then migrate courses, align curriculum, competences, and scale up teachers training for online learning instructions. So we have to, okay, no, orient our teachers. Kaya karamihan naman sa mga guro ngayon medyo nahirapan. Sa bagay, teachers, madali lang pag i-train, but the problem is availability of, again, internet sa bahay. Then we have here aspects to ease the transition to the new normal, no? Para hindi naman tayo ma-stress. One is you have to shift of learning space from public space to personal space. Now, instead of going to school or in our university premises just to learn, learning now happens at home with our personal spaces. Because learning can now be done through our personal devices without having to go somewhere physically. Along with that comes a shift in our social interactions from physical to virtual. We still interact with the learning community we are in. We still exchange conversations with your co-teachers, co-college deans, and your lecturers. We are not actually cut off from the learning community. We have merely shifted our communication challenge. Okay, then we have to shift of delivery, example, our teaching method, no? From one size fits all to individualized and differentiated learning. Now, I don't have to elaborate this one because this has been a very, very old topics so sa mga seminars, no? Nandiyan na yan. But what struck me most is because there are learning institutions man good na yung sinasabi lang one size fits all na. But what is being required now is individualized. And how I wish that the module that we are making now, we are giving actually leeway to our students in terms of choosing, no, what especially the activities. You can have more activities and allow students to choose one or two out of 5 activities. Like for example, okay, hindi ka sabihin na baka hindi niya feel yung isang activity. So that is why flexible siya, no? Flexible. Then we are always having that deadlines of submission. So for now, flexibility is very important. Kaya hindi naman tayo ang na-stress, pati yung mga estudyante. So we have to be very flexible, and that's why it has to be individualized. And of course, differentiated learning. You may ask, sir, can we still apply differentiated instruction or learning in our module? Of course, yes. No, varied activities or varied assessments and etc. You can. Then, of course, you have to shift of responsibility in the teaching and learning process, the active participation of household members. Sa ngayon kasi, no? Just the other day, my dean, Dr. Divina Gracia, nag-interview siya sa isang estudyante, tinawag yung estudyante, ang sumagot ang nanay o yung auntie. Ano ba yan? Okay? So, well, that's why, as I told you just a while ago, that we need to orient also the parents. No? Of course, later you may ask me, sir, with the module that we have now, baka ang mga parents ang sasagot o gagawa sa mga assignments, sa mga activities. Anyway, I know that you have all the strategies for tracking this type of, I don't want to say anomaly, but maybe strategy po nila, no? Then, of course, shift in learning evaluation from final exams to formative assessments. Formative assessments, no? I discussed that one just a while ago. Okay, so I have here, the problem in the future could not be the lack of employment, but the shortage of skills that the new jobs will demand. Okay. If you will ask me why, it is manifested actually during the interview. Okay? Ang daming nakapila sa interview. Bakit hindi lahat makukuha? Well, of course, you will say, sir, it's the demand or the need of the college, the need of the university, or the need of the industry, sir, that out of thousands na kapila dyan, we need only 5. Ganun ba? So that's why we set, no. So, a shortage of skills. So because of that issue that I mentioned just a while ago, we have to upskill and reskill, no? So that we'll be prepared for the new normal. That's why kanina, in-explain ko yung the two mindsets. No? And part of it is we have to upskill or we have to reskill because we are in the new normal. Okay? And wag naman sabihin natin na, sir, new normal, na abnormal tuloy. No, it's not that. Hindi naman. Okay? So, regardless of in-person or maybe you're using hybrid or virtual learning models, teaching and learning will not look the same this coming semester. That's why schools must increase virtual readiness, digital platforms, the technical skills, virtual expectations, and norms. Okay, so another training, no? Another realignment of your budget for this one. Health and safety protocols will affect class sizes if we will be allowed. Procedures and instructional strategies. Students will have experience learning clues or trauma that will affect readiness. Then some students and staff will need to remain at home. Nagkaroon ng iba't ibang strategiya, no? Meron ng 4-day work, 1 day at home, ano iba pa, no? So, consider skilling for new competencies. We need to calibrate hiring, our development, faculty development, no, employee development, and of course our evaluation efforts because we need to evaluate also, no, in terms of what we are doing in schools. No? Nag-evaluate, nag-a-assess tayo sa lahat ng mga strategies that we are applying just to be uh, normal with this new normal. Okay. Well, you have there who is convinced that today's graduates have suitable skills for their jobs requirements. And look at that one. Just last week, I attended a webinar. No, that was an international webinar. I was invited to attend. That's a passage to ASEAN, no? Passage to ASEAN. I know that some of the Philippine state colleges and universities are a member of this organization. And the speaker identify these skills of the future. So you notice that the highest is the complex problem solving, no? 36 complex problem solving. So the implication here is that we need to inculcate this one to our students. We need to include this one or emphasize this one in our curriculum. Complex. Okay. So gather the skills, the scale of skill demand in 2020, no? Complex. Then okay. Another one is this one, the portrait of a future worker. No, the future worker. Agile for change, then tech fluency or technology savvy, no? A lifelong learner, a social and professional competent. So these are the future workers need by our industry. Need by our industry. It might be teaching industry or other industries. So the future job is what jobs need a person that is technology driven, no? Demographic independent, sector driven, social and technical competencies. These are for our future job. Then for character building, of course, we have the six C's, the new literacy, the digital data literacy, technology, human literacy. Then you have the six C's, computational, creative, critical thinking, collaboration, and etc. Actually, we have been applying this one. We have been inculcating this one to our students. No, the question lang kung talaga bang na-apply ng mga estudyante, no? Pag nandoon sila sa kanilang job, or talaga bang na-implement sa kanila. Now, new normal, especially in our research and innovation, no? Because that is one of our functions, whether you like it or not. No? For a new mindset, research-based learning na tayo, no? Research and innovation to be introduced early. Talking of research, I've heard but that for the graduate studies ngayon, di daw pwede na mag-graduate without publishing or presenting the research in a child recognized mga publisher. No, am I right, Ma'am Joanne Quaresma? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no. So that's already nasa CHED order gina siya, ma'am. CHED order siya, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Nakalabas na ako dyan. Then, of course, ICT for Learning, as we mentioned just a while ago, crowdsourcing, digital entrepreneurship, and support system. So, implication for organization, whether, let's say, educational organization, we have to redesign work, redesign, consider technology and learning. You change our work strategies. Of course, we are not changing. In fact, we are experiencing. And this one, I love this evolution of leadership. Later, we'll be discussing about leadership. No, so we discuss about the teachers, we discuss about leadership, we discuss a little about the curriculum. How I wish that after my lecture, kasi later babalik na ako sa meeting namin, may natutunan naman tayo konti. Although I know you have a lot of experiences, you have a lot of ideas about this. But then again, but anyway, thank you for having me here. Now, and the question is, you have there, how can teacher education institutions adapt to these demands, the new normal that we have been discussing? Okay. Remember, the quality of an education system cannot exceed the quality of its teachers. Now, this is the reality. No? Professional development opportunities currently offered to teachers frequently fail to meet even minimum levels of quality and fall short of what teachers want and need. Okay, we are talking of professional development. Why? Because for experience, some will just attend for the sake of attendance. Some will just attend as an outlet, kinaboring na sa bahay, and etc. Okay? So yun ang nangyayari. Maybe on the part of the organizers, no? So that's why there should be a training needs analysis before conducting a training, especially in institutional training. There should be TNA, no, training needs analysis, which I experienced when I was outside of this country. I was working as international consultant in Cambodia, because part of my job was actually to train teachers, to train directors, to train all education stakeholders. So, ayun, umabot ako ng 1 month to 2 months just to have that training needs analysis because we cannot just design a program for them if we don't have data. No? That's very important. Systems at the school level to support teachers and identify their professional development needs. Okay. Utilization of budget allocated for human resource training and development is often low. That's the problem. No? Na yung budget, no? Budget. Because hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin na, sir, graduate naman siya sa yung university na sa graduate, matalino naman siya, cum laude naman siya. Remember that it's a continuous process mo ang learning, no? Remember that I have been telling my students that so what you've learned today might not be true tomorrow. So we have to update. That's part of our professional development aside from readings, no? But we are talking of what the institution should do, no? Just to address these problems. How I wish that as of this time, nakikita na natin naman yung mga school managers natin, nakikita nila yung mga problema. Ano bang wala yung mga teachers, no? May mga teachers na nalihis na, nagkaroon ng problema, nagkaroon na ng depression, no? Medyo napabayaan din ng mga school administrators natin. Para bang ano ba? Instead of helping them, para bang sinasabi na, okay, kasalanan niya. Hayaan siya, we can look for another one. Okay, but that should not be, okay, no? So the teachers must be possessed with educational, of course, educational competence, no? Skill, technological, commercialization, capability of globalization, igutom naman ko, no? Expertise in future strategies, and etc. Skills, you have there, no? Having a good sense of humor and teaching as a whole. I like that sense of humor. Yung mga guro natin, nako, hindi pa nga wala pa nga sa retirement age, ang mukha nagsasabi na I'm gonna retire tomorrow. Nako ha. Okay? So we need teacher. Now, after I got this one from the PPST, no, everybody is aware of that one, no. So as teacher, yung personal growth and professional development yung importante. Of course, a teacher na andoon nyo, yung nakipag-link, no, community linkages and professional engagement, of course, assessment and reporting, curriculum and planning, diversity of learners. He or she has to understand the diversity of learners, not only physically, but emotionally, and all other aspects of the learners. They are actually diverse because of this. Our learning environment, no? The content, knowledge, and pedagogy, etc. So you have there, know what to teach, maintain a learning focused environment to respond to learner diversity, plan and design, use variety of assessment tools to inform and enhance the teaching and learning processes, establish community, engage professional reflection, and so on. So, so the curriculum, as I mentioned just a while ago, that it has to be included the so-called life skills and the ability to live together and think critically and creatively. Other invisible skills like interpersonal, global, literacy and media, information, then direct and shape students ready to face the industrial revolution era. That's part of our curriculum. ICT-based learning, it's considered as compulsory now as of this time. The Internet of Things, computerization, of course, as well as entrepreneurship. Everybody is engaged now in entrepreneurship, no? Yung mga teachers ngayon, ang dami ng sideline online, no? Pati na yung damo ay binibenta na, no? Pupunta ng eskwelahan, hindi mag-report, yun pala nanguha ng mga ano yan, bulaklak sa tabi-tabi. Okay, para pang ibenta na. So again, this might be my last topic. Our instructional, what about the instructional leadership of our instructional leaders? I am referring instructional leaders. I am referring to the college deans, program advisors, and other school leaders. Okay. I have here, no? Although An activity. The first question is, what do you see in the picture? Does the picture make sense to you? How do you relate the picture to instructional leadership? Ano ho ang nakikita natin dyan? Ma'am Jane, Sebastian? Hi, Ma'am Jane. Kital man? Okay. Si Ma'am Jane, na-busy siguro si Ma'am Jane.
Aratan-on pa.
Ha?
May gulay. Otro kasi classmate ba? Jeng, Sir Muro.
Yes, ma'am.
What do I see in the picture? So, para I can see school officials, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So, the sense, it makes sense like a leader. The red one is like a leader, followed by the blue and the lighter and the darker blue. But
Okay.
in the faces of the fish, some are going on the other way. Puro management style, pero geared towards one goal lang sila.
Okay,
So,
okay. Okay.
So,
thank you, Ma'am Jane.
Okay.
See you maybe after 2000, maybe 2030 kung wala ng pandemic. Thank you, ma'am. So, may I proceed? Isn't it that the most powerful leadership tool you have is your own personal example? So, few ways you can be an effective leader during this global pandemic. You have to visualize your workflow, helping your team to limit their work in progress. Okay. So, because remember that being a leader right now with this pandemic is tough. So we have to reduce our team, stress and overwhelm. As a leader, we have to create a deeper connection with the teachers reporting to you, college deans. They will see you as a more empathetic, involved, and interested leader. Yun daw ang mga gusto-gusto ng mga teachers sa ngayon. Of course, you have to lay foundation that will further promote team trust and collaboration. So, one is visualizing your workflow. You have to create a way for your entire team to see the work and the number of tasks that are being managed across the team. It is a fantastic way to start. You need to approach this from an empathetic point of view. Leaders need to exhibit compassion, display deeper trust, and become comfortable allowing teams more autonomy. No? Kay, you see what is happening now? Nagkaroon sometimes ng misunderstanding among the teachers, among the school leaders, and so on. Okay. Then, of course, you have to help your team to limit their work in progress. This means that once you have helped to facilitate a conversation with your team around work prioritization, you will want to have our team focus on the most critical items one at a time. Challenge your desire for all work to continue. Recognize that the vast majority of work can be removed or put on hold. Kay we are, as I said just a while ago, we are bombarded by so many challenges. Okay, by so many challenges. Then, of course, managing the flow. Okay. Then the other one is make policies explicit. It has to be aligned with your team and policies that you can all respect and observe. No? Policy is the policy. But sometimes we have to be also flexible by this time. No? Then, of course, you have to create feedback loops, improve where necessary, and evolve. So, communication with your subordinates is very important. Okay, so I have here other activity. Kunyari ako yan sa baba. Okay, can I have my friend, Dr. Kulisaw?
Yes, yes, Dr. Moro.
Hi, Ma'am Kital.
Buenamente, man.
Pinipento lang kahit di aton bida ara. Oh, I study
No,
aton
I'm not the dean anymore.
I'm
I'm just a plain faculty.
okay. Just want you to share your thought about this one. Okay, that picture there. The question is, what characteristic do you see in the picture that relates to instructional leadership or to you as a leader, instructional leader?
So, first of all, it's a teamwork.
Yes.
So, being a leader, you should not only be to be followed, but you must also follow. You share, you discuss things honestly and courteously. You should have commitment. You have to carry the goals as you wish, and therefore, you both or all of you will be able to get your desired goals.
Okay. Wow. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
Ma.
you very
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Okay.
I miss you so much.
Okay. So leaders and managers must, you have there, possess new sets of skills to adapt and to manage. Leadership is different from yung management. Be critical thinkers, problem solvers, innovators, communicators, and provide value-driven leadership. We have to know technology and be able to meet and solve all aspects of the challenges engendered by this or technology and other confronting us problems. So we are all leaders. I'm sure no one now is acting as a manager, but we are all acting as leaders. So instructional leaders. So you have there share leadership, taps expertise of teachers. No, if you are an instructional leader, you should also have to tap the expertise of your teachers. No, huwag lang akuin lahat ng trabaho, no? If you think that one of your teachers is expert on that specific task, then you can tap leads learning community. Act as learner, of course. Act as learner, of course. You have to unload actually for you to learn, no? Okay. So when you say act as learner, you don't have to say that I'm a leader and I know everything. Okay. Then we have to collaborate in leading. Visits, classroom, okay, or monitor like the because of the pandemic that we have, no, online or whatever platforms. There's a question is how to monitor now. Okay, the question is how to monitor. Okay, so monitoring the Zoom, monitoring the Google Classroom. So there should be another instrument for that, no? Kasi yung instrumento ninyo ngayon maaring hindi, it's no longer applicable as of this time. Yung gamit-gamit natin ngayon ay for classroom yun siya, no? Visitation. Monitors curriculum instruction. Of course, uses data for instructional supervision. So, monitoring of the implementation of the curriculum among teachers is crucial by this time. Okay, so college deans, we have to look into the modules from the program goals, objectives, and etc. Cascaded to course outcomes, cascaded to learning outcomes in your module hanggang doon sa uh, assessment. Tinitingnan ng college din yan ngayon. So, congratulations college din. Buti na lang hindi na ako college din sa ngayon. Okay. Oh, I love this. This might be the last activity. Okay, no. So activity, based on the picture, what effective skills should an instructional leader have? Explain. Okay, anyway, we're running out of time. So it is said that leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. I love this. So as higher education institutions, we have to manage, we have to consider in our decision making, the students, the government, the financial institutions, the industry or industries, the communities, the employee, the managed, of course, our management. No, we have to consider the interrelationships of all these factors, of all these variables, of all these things as of this time. Okay, so thank you, and may this be a challenge for all of us to continue striving for excellence in education. And here are some references and so
Yes, thank you so much po, Dr. Muro. Thank you so much po.
saan na tayo yan?
And it is really important po na as of now, we will have that growth mindset.
Oo nga.
I don't think we can embrace a new normal without having a growth mindset. And if you're not willing to unlearn those unconventional things before. And so we are now ready po for your questions. So if you have questions, pwede po mag-chat sa chat box, or you can unmute your microphone so that you will be acknowledged. I just want to acknowledge the presence of Sir Conrad Kila, who is with us right now. Sir, good morning po. Can I have some reactions from... Can I have some reactions or questions po?
Kasi yung iba, poor siguro ang signal, ma'am, no? May nag-ano
Po. Yes
poor
po.
ang signal.
Because of we're having po bad weather here in Molave.
Okay. Same here also, ma'am. No, hapit na ulan.
Very po, Doc. Kaligsik. Just like my family.
Correct na. Sugod na gyud siya, oh. Mubalik pa ko ron sa seminar sa IMD. Text na, where are you, Dr. Moro? Okay.
Have here, thank you from Ma'am Shirley. Thank you, Dr. Moro, for a very comprehensive talk from Dr. Belino.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I believe Dr. Mario is raising his hand.
Oh, okay.
Ma'am Vanessa.
Yes po. Yes po, Dr. Mario, you are acknowledged po.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Sir Moro, Dr. Moro, thank you so much for the insights. I would like to ask, or maybe a suggestion in your last slides, because you have here each each EIs need to have consideration with their linkages with students, management, employee community, industry, financial institutions, government. I find it also important, sir, to have our constant linkages with our pastors or ministers. What I am saying is our linkages with our parish priests or spiritual directors. Would you agree with that, sir? Yes, Sir Moro. Hello, ma'am.
Hello. We
Is
lost
it
connection.
clear, ma'am?
Parang hang si Dr. Moro.
Parang
I guess
naghang siya.
We will just try to chat him. Parang nawala.
Nawala siya, Ma'am
Lady.
Van, no?
Yes, yes, Doc.
Basta
Nawala.
gitawag na siguro, Ma'am. So, what I am saying is we have to include as part of this sa last presentation ni Dr. Moro is the linkages with the church. Whatever denominations we belong, I find it healthy to include our churches for our spiritual health. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Do you agree with me, sir, or
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree with you, sir.
Yes, any further question?
Miss Van,
Yes
Ma'am
po.
Shirley has a child.
Po?
Ma'am Shirley has a question.
Yes po, Ma'am Shirley, you are recognized po.
Let me just read.
Sige po, I cannot open po my chat.
Sir
box.
Muro, can we share your talk to our teachers?
Ma'am.
This is Dr. Belina.
Hi, ma'am.
Juliano. Good morning, Sir Moro.
Morning,
Hello,
ma'am.
hello, good morning.
Morning.
Okay, we love your talk.
Thank
I
you.
love your talk. Actually, I have gained many things from your talk. Can we share your slides to other teachers?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No problem. I-ano ko kay Ma'am Quaresma.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you very much.
yes, ma'am. Welcome
Very
po.
nice presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you din. So okay kayo, sir. Payag kayo, ha? Hindi kami ma-charge ng plagiarism.
Okay lang. Okay
Sir
lang.
Moro.
Within the group lang man. Okay lang, okay lang. Hindi man siya for sale.
Okay. So, you'll not charge us with plagiarism.
Ma'am Shirley, this particular video is live via FB, so you can even play together with your faculty. That's the very same presentation.
Okay. Sige. Thank you, ma'am.
Can be downloaded po.
Dr. Moro, can I ask you a question, please?
Yes po, Dr. Penelope.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, Dr. Moro.
Hello.
So much. Nice talk. Thank you very much for all those inspiring messages.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have done with 2 modules now on ethics and JA that will be used across colleges. It's about 140 pages, and 140 pages. It's plagiarized already. It's plagiarized, so it's not a copy paste. So I was so inspired of your leadership qualities and the problems within the COVID-19. So one of the topic in my module is on moral dilemma. So I believe in moral dilemma in the academe is that there are times you have to talk about potentials. There are times when a faculty who comes into a new school is treated as a threat instead of being so happy that he or she is an advantage. That's the reason why. So even if that man or that teacher wants to share, but she or he is not given the opportunity. How is that so?
ma'am, we have to you have to utilize. You have to tap also that teacher. I am sure the teacher is knowledgeable, no? So we have to tap for well, kung hindi man siya na-tap, maybe there's something personal on the part of the person who is about to tap her or that person. So, but for now, as a leader, we have to utilize these teachers that we are who are experts, who can help us in doing our things. Meron ba?
Meron kasi, sir, I would say that it's
Hmm.
still the Padrino system.
Okay.
Yeah, we cannot eradicate that.
Ay,
Then,
correct.
yes, totoo po yan. It is not by my experience.
Yes.
Oh, maingay talaga ang aso namin. May nag-deliver. Lunchtime na. Ayun lang, sir. Because when you are a teacher, when you are a leader, efficiency, effectiveness is a different way.
Correct.
Kasi you may be a good leader, but you may not be effective because of your goodness, others will abuse you. That's the reason why, as a leader, you cannot sense that someone there is crying because you play favoritism. Dahil malakas tayo ito, i-chakwera yung iba. Sayang kasi.
Yes, ma'am. That is why our leaders should also attend seminars on leadership, no, for them to understand, to embrace, no, the value or to embrace about all the things about leadership. But then again, we cannot well, individual differences of which you're not supposed to practice also. No, some individual differences of our leaders that they are not supposed to apply in an organization. That's why you have to climb on top of the building and look at your subordinates. Look at your subordinates para fair ang treatment supposed to be. No? Hindi yung klase ng leader na andyan ka sa floor. You have to be on top para nakikita lahat kung ano ang nasa ibaba. Problema, including the teachers, lahat, no? Human resources, para makita fair ang tingin ito. But if a leader na naka-anchor siya sa a group of people, there's a tendency na, magkaroon ng mga biases in terms of decision making. No? Hindi niya ma-set aside yun. That's why, in my training sa DepEd noon sa mga school leaders, lagi kong sinasabi na, please, imagine na nandoon ka sa pinakamataas na building ng eskwelahan, then look down para makikita na sa ibaba kung ano ang problema. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am Penelo.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Wow, wala na gini.
Doc Mario, are you raising your hand?
No, ma'am, no. I think that's I am thankful to Doc Moro. I enjoy listening to his presentation. In fact, I have made a chat. If I can ask also a copy, it can be a good reference for Guanmang for making a checklist to find out how prepared am I as a dean in doing my job for the coming August, for this month's start of classes. Pwede ba, Sir Moro, na we can be given, I think, ma'am, no, we will provide us a copy of the
Yes, sir.
of the presentation of Sir
With the
Moro.
permission of Moro, I captured screenshots of your presentation and have it in Word, and that's the one that we will give for the participants, not necessarily your PowerPoint presentation. Is it okay, Doc?
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
O kasi mag-evaluate pa si Dr. Alayon sa sarili niya.
Salamat, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you also, sir, for the invite.
So make sure you registered because I will send through your email.
Okay.
Maybe we can have one, Miss Bene.
Yes po. I checked po the Facebook Live. We don't have questions po. Though there are some educators watching all the way from Mandaue City, Cebu.
Oh,
Yeah, also in
Basilan State
Cebu.
College. So very far. And even we also have from Ilican City.
oh.
So
I thought you 9. Kalbaan ko.
I guess what they
Cebu.
really gained a lot from your talk po, Dr. Moro.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we have here from Lorita P. Andot. Thank you, Dr. Moro, for your time and sharing your knowledge and expertise. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Jo, we have a concern po from Dr. Salundagit. She cannot enter the attendance anymore.
It's still open. It's just open. Baka signal lang, ma'am.
Okay po.
Hello, may bagyo.
Nagbagyo na. So, Dr.
Maybe
Jo,
that comments our open forum, ma'am.
all right, okay po. So once again, Dr. Moro, thank you so much. Okay, and to CODTE Region 9, thank you so much. And I guess to present the certificate of appreciation, we have Dr. Mano Faith Salundagit.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Rainy morning, everyone.
Morning, ma'am.
To
Morning,
Dr.
ma'am.
Tan, to Dr. Quarisma, Dr. Alayan, to Dr. Kilab, and to Ma'am Dr. Vanessa, our Master of Ceremony, our my very own System Dean, Dr. Bureros, all the deans, the associate deans, assistant deans, the program chairs, faculty all over the region. Good morning.
Good morning.
On behalf of the CHED, the
Good
Commission
morning.
on Higher Education, and the Council of Deans for Teacher Education, I have the honor to award the Certificate of Appreciation to Dr. Rogelio A. Muro, our resource speaker on the meeting on responding to the new normal. A round of applause, please. Mahirap ang signal.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, CODTE.
Hello,
for the
sir.
invite.
Thank you very much.
We request everyone to turn on their camera, please.
For the photo op.
See it on your count. Let me acknowledge Dr. Abelardo P. Moro, who is with us.
Okay, wait lang po ah. Smile lang po, dalawang beses. Okay. 3, 2, 1, smile. Wait lang.
Please on yun yung camera
Okay, second page. 1, 2, 3,
na
smile.
sina Sir Roel.
Tsaka yung iba.
Okay na po.
Thank you, Sid. Yes, ba?
Okay na.
Thank you.
Dr. Jo, Dr. Charisma.
Go on, Ma'am Bane.
Doc, I'm sorry po, I have to leave. My question po kasi si Dr. Roddy. We have to proceed po sa admin's office.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you po.
So to continue, Dr. Abelardo P. Moro, our OIC Supervising Education Program Specialist, will give us our closing remarks. Dr. Lard.
Good morning. As we
Good
bring to a
morning, sir.
close of this webinar, in behalf of the CHED Draw 9 team headed by our officer in charge, Dr. Rodi P. Garcia, I'd like to express my thanks for all higher education institutions in Region 9, especially the Council of Deans for Teacher Education Programs, and to all the teachers for taking your precious time participating in this webinar. As we also express our deepest and sincerest thanks to our expert speaker, Dr. Rogelio Murzer. Thank you for gracing and sharing your expertise and experiences in responding to our new normal. I believe this would somehow enhance our presentation of our different platforms of the different institutional education institution, especially in our virtual teaching and learning modality intended for our different stakeholders, not only in our institutions, but in our community. Eventually, this webinar would help us augment our platforms and to carry out the flexible learning modality of the different programs, especially the teacher education programs and the projects of the different higher education institutions. In behalf of CHED Region 9, I'd like to express my sincerest thanks to our distinguished speakers and to everyone, and of course, to Dr. Joanne Curespa. Keep safe, maing udto, buenos dias, and good afternoon once again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lard. So we had come to the end of it all. Thank you very much, Dr. Muro, for your time. And to the CODTE officers, thank you so much. Let's have a round of applause. Some are virtual. So this is our link for you to be able to secure your certificate of attendance. For the presentation of Dr. Muro, I will be sending directly to your email. Make sure you have the sign in our attendance because that will be the basis for my sending. So once again, thank you so much for your time and hoping that you had so many takeaways and the learnings that Dr. Muro had shared this morning. From the Kote and Shed, thank you for your time. Goodbye.
Mana?
Thank you, ma'am.
Mag-is-ed ra lagi siya kay di lagi is-ed mathematics siya kay
Bigaligagjo.